Mary Hogan, 606 Underwood Avenue. This ordinance is being passed tonight, where you've already hired somebody to the position of a police communications clerk, which you did at the last meeting when you introduced the ordinance. So you already have somebody filling this position. This is what I'm talking about, advertising, that I don't know how you can have appointed someone to this position when it didn't exist until tonight. And that's where I don't say you have to publish in the record, but certainly if you put it on your website, you might give more people an opportunity to. I guess Greg knows civil service, but I didn't know that you could pick from a group that already sits there and you don't have to go out and advertise again. I thought civil service should have to advertise even if it's not competitive. But even if it's not civil service, as a community, in terms of hiring people, I think that you should let the community know that these positions are open so that people within the community would have an opportunity to apply. I'm not saying that the person that you hired for this position is bad, especially if he's on the police list. That's probably a good idea. However, I think that other people should have had that opportunity. They certainly never did. If you're only creating the position tonight via this ordinance, but you've already filled it. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, just to point out that, yeah, this individual to start the list, and there are other opportunities, other openings. This is, I think, 1, 4, 6 that we're looking at. So that's sort of a moot point. There'll be opportunities, and everyone knows about it.
Do we comment on comments that for the ordinances? I didn't know. Is that the procedure?
We're just commenting about it.
All right, at this time, I'd like to close the public.
Your procedure was the public speaker.
Now, any discussion?
Mayor, if I may, just for edification. The police communications clerk, or commonly referred to as a dispatcher, these positions, along with the emergency medical technicians, have high turnover. And one of the reasons why creating this position of police communication clerk, it provides to you a little more freedom to appoint and terminate versus the civil service process. Not that you're skirting civil service, it just gives you the opportunity to manage your personnel more effectively because of the high turnover. And you're going to see that you're going to see this very similar to your EMTs, where you're paying X amount of dollars an hour, and the next town over is paying $1 more than that, and your dispatchers are going to gravitate to that. So there's going to be constant turnover. So it was just it's a tool used to help manage the process better.
Any further discussion?
My final point is that, let's remember that the overall goal of this thing is to pour more boots on the ground, more experienced police officers in the field. We're challenged with budgets with regard to hiring. We're limited, and this is going to be able to do that in a very effective manner. And we have some good people turn us down. And to Greg's point, they move for the next dollar. And so this is a real, we're elected to get the big picture done. This is the big picture. We're protecting the people of Edgewater by doing this measure in a greater sense.
Any other comments?
I just want to reiterate what Mike said, is get more boots on the ground, learn how to use our police department more efficiently, and get the best use out of it. That's it.
All right, so do I have an introduction?
So,
Second, roll call.
President ordinance of the Borough of Edgewater, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 71 of the Code of the Borough of Edgewater, entitled Officers and Dwellings, Article 9, to create the position of police communications clerk, formerly known as a dispatcher, by the title. Councilman Kennedy.
yes.
Councilman Doran. Councilman Monty.
Yes.
Councilman Vidal.
Yes.
Councilman Bartolomeo.
Yes.
Councilman Doran on the voting for maybe the change into dispatches to police communications, but
Yes.
ordinance 1510-2014. Ordinance of the Borough of Edgewater, County of Bergen, New Jersey, amending ordinance number 1482, 2012 of the Borough, finally adopted on November 19, 2012, providing for various improvements in and for the Borough of Edgewater and appropriating $757,000, therefore, and providing for the issuance of $498,750 in bonds or notes the Borough of Edgewater to finance the same. Basically, what we're doing is we're amending Section C of ordinance number 1482 to include the paving of Oxon Hill. We're able to do this because the anticipated cost of the paving of Hilliard Avenue came in less than what we had anticipated, and we have the money to do it, so we're not adding any debt. At this time, I'd open to 1510-2014. Anyone wish to be heard? Seeing none, I'll close the open portion of the meeting on 1510-2014. Do I have an introduction?
So,
Second?
Second.
Do you have any discussion?
I have a question about that. How far up Oxon Hill belongs to us? Is it all the way up to the top? It can't be.
Well, you'll find out when you see what's paved.
that's Florida.
I'm not sure, but I know that Cliffside's been calling multiple times in the last year or two for us to take care of.
Pretty high up. Pretty high up.
It's not too bad.
100
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think right before the bend, I think.
Yeah.
Where the litter stop being thrown over. That's where it begins, that's where
Nice
it
catch
goes.
back there.
So, roll call. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Whereas an ordinance of the Borough of Edgewater, County of Bergen, New Jersey, amending ordinance number 1482-2012, the Borough finally adopted on November 19, 2012, providing for various improvements in and for the Borough of Edgewater and appropriating $757,000 therefore, excuse me, and providing for the issuance of $498,750 in bonds or notes for the Borough of Edgewater to finance the same. Was introduced on June 16th and is now adopted as July 15th. Councilman Henry?
Yes.
Councilman Torres?
Yes.
Councilman Monteith?
Yes.
Councilman Vidal?
Yes.
Councilman Fontaine?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Communications petitions.
We received a letter from Michelle Smith, who is a senior project scientist at Newfield's Perspective, and this is informing the mayor and council of their intent to submit an NJP DES permit for closed test Edgewater terminal located at 615 River Road. They have contracted with us to apply for that discharge of surface water permit in connection with a groundwater remediation project at the reference site. The remediation project is under the oversight of LSRP in accordance with NJDEP Site Remediation Reform Act. This letter is serving as evidence that the municipality has received a copy of this permit application, and if you have any comments or regarding this or objections regarding this, I have the information here. If anybody can contact my office tomorrow, I'll be glad to give it to you. Secondly, we have a letter from the attorney law firm of Scott C. Hollenbeck, who is hired on behalf of Comcast Corporation, Time Warner, informing us that they have filed a petition with the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities, and they're seeking approval of the merger of Time Warner Cable into a wholly owned subsidiary of Comcast. Basically, they're telling us that the petition is available at their location, Pal Park, and at the Board of Public Utilities. This came today, and it's good news. It's from the State of New Jersey Office of Attorney General, Department of Law and Public Safety, Division of State Police, and it's regarding the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program Energy Allocation Initiative. And they are pleased to inform us that we are receiving $75,000 in Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, which is also known as the HMGP funds, for our use in supporting energy resilience needs. That's the short version.
Electric,
Well, basically, it's, I think it has to do, the funds are being made available to launch of a 30-minute Lifeline Life Safety Energy Resilience Program, which serves critical infrastructure that performs life safety or lifeline functions that would significantly benefit from enhanced energy resilience. I think this also has to do with projects identifying resilience needs as a critical life safety, like police departments, hospitals, water and waste.
How about outflow?
Outflow?
Well, I mean, we laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I think
that's
it's
true.
supposed to-
They haven't spelled that out quite, but communications equipment, transportation facilities,
Zaps out the lights.
and I guess also falls under the Office of Emergency Management.
Go through that.
Yeah.
We,
So this came today, so that's why it's not on the agenda. And that was good news.
we bound by anything with that, or, I mean,
I don't think you're bound by anything until you actually sign the contract, right, Bill?
He's not saying.
All right.
Wait, right down.
Phil,
So check.
wait. Barbara was asking for a contract.
Wait, I also said right, Don?
she was mentioning about this, we've been awarded $75,000, and I just wondered, are we bound by anything here with this? I'm sure you'll take a look at it. Yeah, we'll take a look at it.
I had mentioned, no, no, I don't think so, unless you sign a contract. And I said, right,
Yeah,
Bill?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, life saving, you can apply for the ambulance.
Right, you have to.
I thought I was home, and my husband was ignoring me.
Oh, that's all right.
I told him, no, I didn't.
All right, moving forward, we have introduction of ordinances. We have ordinance 1511, 2014. An ordinance of the Borough of Edgewater in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, appropriating a $30,000 grant to be received by the borough for post-Sandy planning in and for the Borough of Edgewater in the County of Bergen, New Jersey. This grant provides funds from the NJ Department of Community Affairs for the development of strategic recovery planning report that will evaluate impacts of Superstorm Sandy. It will also adopt the capital budget amendment resolution. We also have ordinance 1512, 2014, ordinance of the Borough of Edgewater, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 240 of the Borough Code to implement and reaffirm the recommendations contained in the April 2014 Master Plan reexamination as approved by the Planning Board. Phil, did you comment on this?
Yes, Mayor, that and Barbara, I'm sorry, that's what I was.
Yeah, that's all right.
I was looking at
I was just breaking the choice.
Catherine Gregory was here. In April of 2014, the planning board did a master plan periodic reexamination. And that is, so we've had a comment from a member of the public, that is the sole jurisdiction of the planning board. We play no role in the adoption of the master plan. That is the function of the planning board. That is the document from which we then adopt our ordinances, the very specific ordinances. Now, this occurred in 2012, and if you recall, we adopted an ordinance last year changing the designation on a large number of parcels that are south of Hess tanks. And the planning board has gone back to revisit some of the lots and blocks and to make some minor changes that they felt were necessary. They were working on tax maps that weren't 100% accurate, so that has been clarified. The majority of what they did is a reaffirmation of what was in the 2012 master plan. They have identified certain parcels that have already been developed, and so those parcels are retaining the zoning designation for exactly what they have been developed into. Aventine is a good example, and the daycare center is another example that is a commercial building. So what we as a governing body, I believe, are required to do is, now that the master plan has been brought up to date, I think it's our responsibility to take our zoning ordinance and make sure that is in compliance and consistent with the April 2014 master plan adopted by the planning board. So that is what is before you. It is essentially a reaffirmation of what has already taken place, so it's consistent. It's just what I would call an updated version of what we have already done. It takes into consideration what we believe as a community, what must be done in order to encourage successful development in these areas. We have not received the response from that area of town that we would like to see developed, so what we believe have done is taking steps to encourage attractive development that we believe is in the best interest of the borough. So the land use element of the master plan provides for this, and we are simply following that through, and that's what we will discuss that.
Phil, is it safe to say that that we haven't, not maybe say this body and planning, and maybe some of the professionals, we didn't nail it right the first time. We've gone back and we've tightened it up.
Yes, we have.
Because there were concerns. South of us, that people had concerns.
Right.
We had to tighten it up.
Yes, there was, we believe, we thought it was a good idea to go back and have, so it's a pretty large area. It is, probably the last, remaining track, and we felt that it was worthwhile to, focus on it and get it, 100% correct, which we believe we are now out at that point. So, and we will simply be following up with the adoption of this zoning ordinance, which we believe is consistent with the master plan. So, that's
Councilman Henwood, do you have a committee report? I'm sorry.
That was the quickest vote we ever had.
I'd ask for an introduction.
I'll introduce it.
Second.
Introduced by Councilman Bartolomeo and seconded by Lou Bedell. Now, was this on 1511?
I must have jumped over 1511.
Now, 1511 you did, that's a $30,000 grant.
Did we do it?
Yes.
No, we discussed
But we
it.
didn't vote on anything.
Okay, so I'm asking for an introduction on 15/11/2014. I apologize.
Okay, so Councilman Bartolomeo and Councilman Bedell, does that still stand? Okay.
Roll call.
Any more discussion there?
Any further discussion on
Okay.
15/11?
An ordinance of the Borough of Edgewater, the County of Bergen, New Jersey, appropriating a $30,000 grant to be received by the Borough for co-standard planning in and for the Borough of Edgewater, the County of Bergen, New Jersey, and passes its first reading, will be considered for final passage and public hearing on August 11, 2014, at 7 o'clock here in the Edgewater Municipal Building. Councilman Henwood?
Yes.
Councilman Doran?
Yes.
Councilman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilman Bedell?
Yes.
Councilman Bartolomeo?
Yes.
15/14.
That vote, excuse me, Mayor, that vote will be the same on the resolution that accompanies it, correct? Thank you.
For an introduction on 15/12/2014.
So,
Second.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I just would suggest that we have a vision, we think we're doing the right thing. There were some questions and concerns that we slowed down, we addressed them, we come back, and decide to move forward.
Any further comments? Roll call.
An ordinance of the Borough of Edgewater, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 240 of the Borough Code to implement and reaffirm the recommendations contained in the April 2014 Master Plan. Re-examination is approved by the Planning Board and passed its first reading and will be considered, and passed its first reading and will be considered for final passage and public hearing on September 15, 14, it's in the municipal building. Councilman Henry?
Yes.
Councilman Jordan?
Yes.
Councilman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilman Goodell?
Yes.
Councilman Bartolome?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Councilman Henwood, do you have a committee?
Not in regards to police, it's all good. Really happy about the opportunity we have to really strengthen the coverage in towns, and also looking at overtime for next year, and who's still to work on that. Just real quick, the outflow,